Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve day 2 problem of this month on LeetCode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. Problem number 3025. Find the number of ways to place people 1. So you are given a 2D array points of size n into 2 representing integer coordinates of some points on a 2D plane where points of I is equal to x and y. We have to count the number of pairs of points A and B, where A is on the upper left side of B, and there are no other points in the rectangle or line they make, including the border, and we have to return the count. So let's understand this problem statement with an example here. So see example number 1. So this is our points 2D array, right? And this is nothing but size n into 2. So n is nothing but 3 into 2 size, right? I can say 3 into 2. So 3 rows are there, right? And 2 columns are there. So size is nothing but 3 into 2. All right. Now next thing, we have to count the number of pairs of points A and B, right? Pairs of point A and B, where A is on the upper left side of B, right? So here let's say this is a graph, right? And here this is nothing but the x-axis and this is nothing but y-axis, right? Now if I mark all these points 1 1, let's say A point, this 2 2, let's say B point, right? And let's say this 3 3 as C point, right? For this point, are you able to see any point which is on upper left side? Upper left side, right? There is no such point. Same way for this point also, if you notice, there is no other point in the upper left side. For this point also, there is no other point in the upper left side, right? So there is no way to choose A and B. So A is on the upper left side of B, right? Any point. Okay, so there is no choice, right? So here we are simply turning 0, right? Let's see this example number 2 where it is possible, right? So here these are the points 6 2 4 4 and 2 6. Now here if I mark all these points on my graph, so this is nothing but x-axis, y-axis. So here 2 6 2 and 6, so this is 1 point, right? 4 4 4 and 4 here, this is 1 point. Then here 6 2, this is 1 point, right? So now here if you see this figure, right, 6 2, and then there is 1 point, right, in the upper left side, right? So let's say this is my A here, and let's say this is my B in this diagram. So A, you can say this is nothing but my x1 and y1, and for B you can say this is nothing but my x2 and y2 coordinate, right? So now if you notice here, we are able to form one rectangle, right? Because point A is on the upper left side of B, right? We are able to form one rectangle, and also there is no other point in this rectangle, not in the border line and not inside. There is no other point, right? So this is one valid case. So here if you see, the left one is a pair of points 1 and points 0, points 1 and points 0, right? Okay, where points 1 is on the upper left side of point 0, right? Point 1 is on the upper left side of point 0, and the rectangle is empty, right? Now here if you see this example, let's say this is my A and this is my B. If you see here, this is also a valid pair, right? A is on the upper left side of B. But if you see this, if you consider this as your A, this as your B, x2 comma y2, right? So now in this case this is not valid because there is one point inside this. The right one is the pair points 2 points 0, where points 2 is on the upper left side of point 0, but points 1 is inside the rectangle, so it is not a valid pair. Okay, now here if you see example number 3, so here if you notice 0 1 and 2. So here if you notice, if I mark all these points 1 comma 3, right, 3 comma 1 this, 1 comma 1 this, right? So now here this is also valid scenario, it is saying, right? So here if you if I write it like this, x1 comma y1, right, and here this point as x2 comma y2. So now the left one is a pair points 2 and 0, 2 and 0, right, 1 1 and 3 1, right, where points 2 is on the upper left side of point 0, and there are no points on the line they form. Note that it is a valid state when the 2 points form a line. So here that is why they are giving such example, right? Example number 3. So here there is one more scenario that even if it is a line, then also it is a valid, right? Same way here also if you see, the middle one is a pair points 1 and points 2, points 1 and points 2. So 1 comma 3 and 1 comma 1. So here this is also valid. But here if you notice this one, the right one is a pair points 1 and points 0, points 1 and 0. So points 1, that is nothing but 1 3, this, and points 0 is nothing but 3 1. So this one is not valid because there is also one point here, right, on the line. It is not valid pair as points 2 is on the border of the rectangle, right? Clear? So now you are clear with all the scenarios, right? We need now, next question is how we are going to solve this problem. All right, so we have to check all the pairs, right? All the pairs one by one. Here if you see the constant size, it's very small and value is 2 to 50, right? And points I dot length is equal to, and here all points of I are distinct only, right? It's not like, right, both the points are same. Let's say point A is on 1 comma 1 and point B is also on 1 comma 1. That is not valid. That is not the case, right? So all the points are distinct. So if point A is on 1 comma 1, then B can be on 1 comma 3, right? Like this, but not both X and Y are same. All right. And points I comma 0, points I comma 1 is from 0 to 50. All right. So this constant size is very small, right? So how I'm going to solve this problem then? Let's see. All right, so here I will check all the point pairs one by one, right? One time I pick these two, right? One time I pick this and this, or one time I pick this and this, like this. I will check all the pairs, right? And I need to make sure that my x1, okay, my x1, it should be less than equal to x2 always, right? X1, it should be less than equal to x2, right? Okay, one thing. And here my point y1, right, point y1, it should be greater than equal to y2 always, greater than equal to y2 always, right? This is what I need to make sure, right? My x1, it should be less than equal to x2. I'm using equal to because they can be on same line, right? Here same way for y1 is equal to, I'm using y1 equal to y2 because they can be on same line. That is why I'm using equal to here. So this should be the case, right? So here if you notice in this, x1 is smaller than equal to x2, right? Here also x1 is less than equal to x2. Here also if you see x1 is less than equal to x2, right? Here x1 equal to x2, right? Equal to, both are same, right? And then I'm also verifying that y1 should be greater than equal to y2, right? Y1 should be greater than equal to y2. Here also this is the same case. Here also if you see, here y is same, right? Y1 is equal to y2, then that's why I'm using equal to. Here y1 is greater than equal to y2, so this is the thing that I'm validating, right? So if this is not the case, then I'm simply continue, then I don't need to check, right? So this point is clear. I'm searching for this, but if this is not the case, then just skip. Okay, and once I select these 2 points and this is the case, then after that what I'm going to do, I'm going to check if there is any point inside. So I'm just going to run one more k loop, right? Run one more k loop in all the points, and I will also say that my k loop, it is not going to check these 2 points that I've already selected. The 2 points that my I and j have already selected, right? My k is going to skip these 2 points and my k is going to check all other points. Let's say this is my k point, right? And here I will say x comma y, right? So now here how I'm going to make sure that there is no point. So let's try that. Okay, so here what I'm going to do, here let's say this is my x1, right? This x1, and here it's my x2, right? X2. So I need to make sure that there should be no point inside these two, right? Here see, my x value, if it is greater than equal to x1, and my x value, right, this my x value, if it is smaller than equal to x2, this is the case, x1 y1 here and your x2 y2 here. So first thing we have validated that x should not be in between, x should not be here in this range. Then also I need to make sure that point should not be in between exactly. It can be here, then also we are fine, but in between it should not be there. So also I will check that here and here this is nothing but y1, right? This is y1 and this is nothing but your y2. So I will say that if my y2 is less than equal to y2 is less than equal to y, so here I will write y2 less than equal to y, and my y is smaller than this y1, less than equal to y1. Okay, we have to use equal to also, right? It can be on the line. So if this is the case, then that means that there is one point, right? If this condition is not true, right, then that means there is no point, then just increment the count value, right? So let's write the code, very simple, nothing complex here. N is equal to points dot length, and here int count is equal to 0, and then here you are going to run one loop, int I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, and here inside this you are going to run one more loop. Int j is equal to 0, j is less than n, j plus plus, and here after this, here you are just going to check if your I value is equal to j. Then in that case you are simply going to continue, and then you have to pick the points. So int x1 is nothing but, you can say, points, and here you are just going to write I comma 0, right? So you can say this is your a point, right? I comma 0. Same way you have to write x2, y1 and y2, right? And now let's change it. So here I'm just going to write y1, and here I will write I comma 1, right? And here x2 I will say j comma 0, and here I will say y2, and I'm going to say here j comma 1. That's it. Okay, so my a and b points are ready. So this is nothing but my a point, this is nothing but b point. All right, and a must be on the upper left of b, right? And lines are allowed. So here I will say that my x1 value, it should be less than equal to x2, and my y1 value, it should be greater than equal to y2, right? So I have proved this here, right? This line. So if this is the case, then that means my a is on the upper left side of b. But if this condition is not valid, right? If this condition is not valid, then in that case you have to simply do continue here. That's it. Okay, now after that, create one variable boolean blocked and just set it to false, and then after that you have to run one more loop. Int k is equal to 0, k is less than n, and here k plus plus, and here after that, here you have to just make sure that if your k value is equal to I or your k value is equal to j, then in that case you have to just simply skip this part as well, just continue from here. Otherwise, again take 2 points, so you can just simply copy this and paste it here, and here you will just simply say this point has x and y. Okay, x and y, and here just write k instead of I, right? So k here and k here also, right? That's it. So now we have to must block if point is inside or on border, right? So here I'm just going to write this condition that I've explained here. This condition, x1 less than equal to x, right? Same condition I'm going to write here. X1 is less than equal to x, and x is less than equal to x2. Okay, and here I'm just going to write y2 is less than equal to y, and here I'm just going to write y is less than equal to y1. Okay, that's it. So if this is the case, then my blocked I'm going to set it to true, right? And I will just simply break, then I don't need to check this for k further also, right? And once all this is done, right, so here once my this k loop ends, so here I will just simply check that if my blocked value is still, if it is not true, right? So if not blocked, right, then in that case I'm just going to do count plus plus. That's it, right? And here in the end, I'm just going to simply return count. So just 20 lines, 29 lines of code, right? Return count. Now let's run it and see if there any code issue. We'll try to fix that. So yes, so here why I'm writing C2, it should be X2, right? Now let's run it again. So see, all the test cases has been accepted, right? So now let's submit it and let's see. So see, our solution is accepted, right? So I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and the time complexity for this problem is going to be of n cube, since we are running total 3 loops, right? I, j and k, right? So time complexity is of n cube, right? So I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and if you guys still have any doubts, then please feel free to ask in the comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.